Good morning, Leah.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
I have to tell you that blue is really popping.
Oh, thank
And
you.
it's my favorite color too.
Thank
So
you.
I think that's a good sign. Um,
Yes.
I have to ask, did you already work out this morning?
I did not work out this morning, so today's a rest day.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Good for you. Now,
Yes.
Garmin tells me I should rest, but I am in a round of 75 hard. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on day 12, I believe.
Okay.
And so, yeah, there are two workouts
Yes.
ahead. I did not get mine in this morning either, but
So you'll get it in both later today.
I will.
Okay.
There's a 2-hour bike ride on my training plan.
Okay. You have a busy day ahead of you.
I do. Um, but it's not about my fitness plan. It's
Yes.
about what we are going to share with the community today about their personal health and
Yes.
how their professional background probably already gives them the skills to
Yes.
leverage and go on that journey.
Yes.
So tell us a little about yourself. How did you get started in
Well,
in this?
I I used to work a retail job
Okay.
when I was younger, and so I was on my feet all the time. And then I got a corporate job right around the time I turned 30 and or maybe 28. And then within those 2 years before I turned 30, I gained 45 pounds.
Oh my, because you moved
So
from walking
I went
to
from being active and standing on
mhm.
my feet for long shifts, 8, sometimes 9 hours a day, to sitting down that same amount of hours. And so in my mind at the time, I thought, "Oh, this is just what happens when you get old." First of all, I was 30, so I wasn't anywhere close to being old.
Right.
Um, but I had to really look at my lifestyle and say, "Okay, something's not working here for me."
Yeah.
And I went through a journey that took 10 years. And in that journey, I lost a lot of weight.
Mhm.
I started running,
Okay.
started restricting my diet. So I got really small
Mhm.
and I thought, "Oh, great, I'm small now." And then I went back to my old habits.
Mm.
And then I gained the weight back.
Mhm.
And then I lost it again. And then I gained it back. And then I lost it again. And this went on for years
Mm.
where it was a struggle. And when I finally learned the realities of taking care of myself and not going to extremes and working out for how it makes you feel rather than how many calories you're burning and learning to lift weights so I could get
Yes.
stronger and learning how to fuel myself properly, not just diet to eat as few calories as possible. All of that came together. And then I've been able to sustain that weight loss for 15 years now. Um, and so that's why I became a trainer because I learned all these lessons and I wanted to help. And I see people making the same mistakes. I
Right.
never have judgment for those people because I did it. So I understand it's not, you are where you are on the path.
Mhm.
And so my job as a trainer is to meet you where you are and then help you move along and get to the next step.
Oh my gosh, I feel like you've gone through maybe my past Instagram and have seen not even because, maybe Facebook at that point, the
Eh,
cyclical journey that I
yes.
have been on in my own weight loss journey, and it wasn't until I learned I needed to fix some things that I was trying to heal with food, that
Yes.
it really started to take off and the weight loss started to maintain. Yes,
Yes.
but it your passion just radiates off of you in regards to fitness, not
Mm-hmm.
just on Instagram, but right now as
Mm-hmm.
we're talking.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Can can you go to a moment where where it was just an eye opening? It was your aha moment.
I remember sitting in my car,
Oh,
driving home from work in traffic, like stuck on 635 traffic, just
yeah.
stuck, and just started crying.
Mm,
And I was like, is this what my life is now? Is this who uncomfortable in my body, not feeling like myself? Knowing that I am a good person and I have a lot to offer and I'm worthy. Like I had that inside of me, no matter how my body looked. But
yeah.
I wasn't connecting with like how I was feeling on the inside wasn't reflecting how I was presenting on the outside. And it was finding that was really my catalyst for saying, "Okay, I really need to make a change."
Right.
And it's that moment I just can remember it's so funny because I was sitting in traffic, like, there's so many things in my life I'm sure I forgot, but that was a moment that I remember. And I think that that was probably my catalyst going, okay, it's time to make changes.
That
And I say now that gaining that weight,
Mhm.
although it was hard and it wasn't like I went on a 12-week plan and my problem was solved. This went on for years.
Right.
It was the best thing that ever happened to me. So, and I try to remember that when I have struggles now in my life, when
Mhm.
things are hard, I think, okay, what am I learning from this? Like, how is this making me a better person? Because if I never did that, I never would have figured out how to fuel myself or
Mhm.
figure out how to lift weights, or I never would have figured out how to help other people. And now I'm a coach and this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So none of that would have happened if I wouldn't have had to deal with that pain of gaining and losing that weight and going through that years long struggle.
And, create it set a foundation for empathy. It sounds like,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
So you started your journey,
Yes,
to get your life back
yes,
on track. And then
yes,
at some point you decided I want to help people.
yes,
So what came first? I honestly I don't know about the journey to become a coach.
yes,
So was it the
yes.
running? Was it fitness? Is it hand in hand?
Well, it's funny because I was a blogger first. So
Okay.
I've been a running blogger long before I was a running coach. And I originally became a running coach, not because I wanted to coach people, but because I wanted to say, "Oh, I wanna have that authority behind my blog." When I
Mhm.
write, I want people to say, "Oh, this is just not some girl who runs, but she's a running coach." So I didn't have any intention of coaching people when I got my coaching certification for
Uh-huh.
running. So I did that first.
Okay.
And um then it then I got my personal training certification next, and then it snowballed from there. And then I got a health coach. I'm a board certified health coach as well. So it snowballed.
What does that mean, a board certified health coach?
So a board certified health coach, it's the highest standard in getting a certification for health coaches. So
Mm.
it's an unregulated industry. Like anyone can say they're a health coach.
Okay.
You could tomorrow like say, "Hi, I'm Danny. I'm a health coach. I can help you." And there's nothing illegal about that. You can, if you have gifts to share and you want to do that as a health coach, and plenty of people do that legitimately in the sense that they are helping people, and plenty of people are doing that not so legitimately.
Mm.
And they're pushing supplements and things like that and calling themselves a health coach.
Oof.
So I really wanted to separate myself from that side of the industry. And so it's just rigorous testing. Um it's the highest standard in certifications for a health coach that you can get.
Nice.
And to me, becoming a health coach was important because as a personal trainer, people come to you and they see you in the gym, right? For an hour and maybe a few times a week.
Mhm.
But what happens outside of the gym is really what dictates how good of results the person's going to get.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
So a health coach helps connect the dots. How are we sleeping? How is our stress? How are we eating? How are relationships? How are we dealing with the things that come up in our life? So those are what makes the gym successful. And so the health coach piece I thought was really important in helping people connect the dots.
Mhm.
And it's about behavior change and what makes people change. What makes people want to make changes in their own lives,
Mm.
and that's what I help people do now.
So you spoke to so many things
Mhm,
of that's important along the health journey,
mhm,
right? And as a child of the 90s, it was just um I think the acronym is like CICO is calories in, calories out,
mhm.
right? And
Yes,
so yeah,
sure,
I was very
sure.
much and that
Mhm.
I know attributed to the yo-yo dieting and the
Yes,
binge eating because you restrict so much. I
yes.
find it now just on my own journey and please tell me like yes or no or
Mhm.
what, but now that I lift as well. I actually
Yes,
haven't lifted in the past 2 months.
yes.
So,
Okay.
thank you for that reminder that I need to get back in
Yes.
and do that, especially now that I'm over 40.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, we're gonna
yes,
get to that
yes.
because that's important.
Mhm.
Um, but understanding the importance of macros and
Yes,
how it all plays together and to think that like teenage me was living off 1,200 calories, like but that's what we were taught. Like that was
yes.
the number
That
and
was the number.
oh my gosh, and so I was sometimes I'm tearing up thinking about it, but I wanna go hug, like, teenage me, like, you were you didn't know that you were setting yourself up for failure.
Yes.
Um,
And that was so prevalent. I mean, it still is. A- I'm glad to see that people are more educated now than it was then, but that idea of just eating the least amount of calories possible to lose the most amount of weight possible. I mean,
mhm,
I did it. That's
mhm.
exactly what I did. It's like, how few calories can I eat and still function
Right.
so I can lose weight? But what people didn't understand, and they are understanding more today, is that when you lose weight, if you lose muscle along with that weight, you're putting yourself in a worse position. And the likelihood of that rebound weight is higher. And so
Yes.
that's what I did over and over again, because you lose a lot of muscle, you're smaller, but your body composition is worse
Mm,
because you have a higher fat percentage than muscle percentage.
right.
So, by making sure you're eating your protein and you're lifting your weights, you make sure you preserve that muscle.
It it all just flows together. And so you were speaking to, again, the whole balance of it all.
Mhm.
So when you have someone who's coming in, like, that is in the corporate world
Yes.
and is ready to take that journey,
Yes.
one of the things that I know I have heard is, I don't have time.
Yes.
How do you address that?
Yes, and so that's common, that's everybody. Who
Right.
has time?
Right.
Who has time? Nobody does, I don't have time. Um, and a lot of the bad messaging people hear is, "Well, you make time, right? And if you can't do that, then, you know, you're a failure."
Right.
And that's
There's
what
someone busier than you
yes,
that's doing it.
and that's the message people hear, but that's the wrong message. The message is you stay consistent in whatever way works for your life today.
Oh, can you
S
repeat that?
You stay consistent in whatever way works for your life today. So you don't build your fitness plan around your ideal day. You don't say, "Oh, okay, so when things get less busy, then I'm gonna start working out."
Yeah.
You start building the skills of working out when you're really busy. And so what happens when things get less busy, you can build on what you've already started. And what that might look like is a 15-minute gym session.
Okay.
What that might look like is prioritizing a walk no matter what every single day, even if it's 20 minutes.
Yes.
It's like, what can you do today right now? And whatever that is, you commit to it. And so no matter how busy you are. But if it's 10 minutes, if you say, "Okay, I'm going to do a YouTube 10-minute hit workout every night before I go to bed."
Yes, there's so many tools out there, I think, that we forget.
Yes.
When I was doing my first round of 75 hard, when I first attempted 75 hard last year, I did it,
Mhm.
and I've, like, twice now tried to do it again and just
Mhm.
failed.
Mhm.
So,
Right, cuz
um
life is busy.
right, but I'd found all these YouTube workouts
Mhm.
and didn't realize that I had access to all this.
Yes, there's lots of free resources.
Yes.
And so a lot of people have the idea, if you can't do everything perfectly, then don't bother doing anything. And it's not even they're consciously
Mhm.
thinking that.
Mhm.
It's just kind of out there. And they're like, "Well, I don't have time to go to the gym for an hour."
Right, or if your training plan says you have to run 10 miles,
Right.
but then people get like, "Oh, I can't do it today, so I'm just not gonna give anything."
Yes.
Whereas I'm
Right.
sure
Yes.
if they get 4 in,
Yes.
yeah?
You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like doing what you can when you can with what you have. That's the secret
I
right
love
there.
that. Thank you for sharing that. I feel you're right. There's so much that gets blasted on social media,
Yes. Yes. There's so
and
much shame. And that again, we talk back to behavior change. People don't change because they're shamed into changing.
mm,
People change because they have wins. And maybe that small win is, I said I was going to walk for 20 minutes every day and I did it. And then you feel good about that. And then you start thinking, "Oh, how can I build on
mhm,
this?" Instead of saying, "Well, I didn't do a workout for an hour."
mm.
One thing we do in health coaching is that when we have a conversation, the how did your week go? And they'll say, "Well, I know I was supposed to work out 3 days, but I only did it once because blah, blah, blah." Okay, stop. Tell me what your wins were. What did you do well?
Yeah.
Well, I missed 2 days. No, you worked out one day. That's your win. You did it one day. So what in that day helped make that happen? And so let's see if we can repeat that. It's
Yes.
you know, it's pulling out the strengths in people's wins, and that's how people move forward,
Yeah.
not by beating themselves up because of what they didn't do.
Thank you for that
Mhm.
reminder, Leah.
Mhm.
Now, um, I want to speak a little to the business aspect of this.
Yes.
So you've established that you're out there, right? You've started your consulting, but is it
Yes.
a coaching
So I do
business?
coaching, but I also started doing corporate coaching. So
Oh,
that is wellness within companies.
okay. Well, we're getting to
We'll
the
get there.
evolution of
Yes.
Leah. No, we
Yes.
can go there now. Like, so
Yes.
tell us
Okay.
a little about that.
Yes. So what it is people are getting sicker
Mm,
as a whole. Employees that work in companies, which is us, the population,
mhm,
people are gaining weight. Their health markers are getting worse. They're not moving as much. They're more stressed. And so this has an impact on each employee, of course, in their health and their life. But that impact spills over into the work that they do. Because when people are really stressed and they're not moving and they're not fueling themselves well, they can't give themselves to do their best at work either.
right.
And that lowers productivity. It causes more sick days, more turnover. And so when we improve the health of the employees within the organization, that improves the organization's health. And so what I do is I go into companies and I help them improve the health of the employees. So we do challenges,
Okay.
we can do workshops, we can find out exactly what it is the employees need the most. Maybe it's a stress management program, or maybe it's a mindfulness program.
Mhm.
And so we see what the employees need, and then we can work to build something that can help improve the health. And then, like I just said, we build on where we start. We
Mhm.
meet those employees where they are, and then we build to get a healthier workforce.
So one of the I don't want to say issues, but challenges
Yes.
when you have an entrepreneur
Yes.
who has this service and they want to get their message out
Mhm.
there. It's the how do I get my message out there?
Mhm.
So how did you begin to get this message?
That's what I'm doing now. So
Okay.
that's my outreach, and so I learned a lot from you and your podcast, I'll say.
Thank you.
I listened to a podcast where you talked about networking, and I've been using some of those lessons and in talking to more people and putting myself out there more,
Okay.
and trying to help people as much as I can with what their endeavors are. And, another one of your podcasts, um the guy started
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, yes,
Yes.
I couldn't think of his name right away.
I have to tell you,
Yeah.
I got so many great just people who came
Yes.
and were really inspired by his story.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah.
and he did Toastmasters, and the day after Toastmasters, after that I heard that, I, like, looked online, "Where's a Toastmasters in Fort Worth?" And I joined Toastmasters, so that's that's how I'm doing it. Am I improving my skills and meeting people and talking about it and sitting here with you and getting it out there.
Yes, that's
And stepping outside comfort zone. One lesson that I'm learning, which is terrible. I mean, it's a great lesson, but it's a slap in the face realization, is all the things I teach in fitness,
uh-huh.
which is stay consistent, celebrate your small wins, um, stay positive, just keep going, don't have all or nothing thinking. All of those things in fitness, they all apply to business as well.
Mm,
So, it's like everything that I teach that and for me now, after all these years, fitness isn't hard for me anymore.
right.
But I remember it was, but it's not hard anymore, so I get further away from it. But then when I'm building my business and I'm struggling with all or nothing thinking or beating myself up or doing all the same things that I teach, I
Uh-huh.
have to remind myself like, "Okay, this applies everywhere. This isn't just for fitness, this is for life too."
This is so true. So we know you I am I am not a coach.
Mhm,
I am a minor to the
mhm.
minorist extent running influencer.
No, that's not true. You are a big influencer.
Thanks. Um but I know the importance of a SMART goal, right? That's
Yes,
specific,
yes,
measurable, attainable, relevant, and time
yes,
bound. And as a coach, I'm sure you set those out for
yes,
your athletes as
yes.
well. So when you think of that in regards to business,
Mhm,
what are some SMART goals that you have for your
mhm.
business that you can share with us?
So, one of the things that I'm doing now is as far as specific is that in measurable, and I'm doing reach out where I am committing. This is another thing with fitness is you can't control the outcomes of anything. You can only control what you do. and the outcomes will come, but you can't control the time that they come, and you can't control lots of parts of it. So you have to just enjoy the journey and take the actions.
Mm.
And so one of my goals is reaching out to 5 people a day. And so that's hard. That's challenging. It's outside of my comfort zone, but
Yeah.
it's like I can't control who says yes and who says no, but I can control what I do. And so if I commit to 5 people a day, then that puts me closer to my goals. And if you do 5 people a day, I just saw someone said this, that's 25 people a week. If you do it Monday through Friday, it's 100 a month. You ask for 100, you make 100 requests, chances are you'll get 1 yes,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's like you just have to commit to the process. So again, it's that fitness business relationship.
Yeah, I feel like you're speaking to me today. And that yes. Is there how are you tracking that?
I just have a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
nothing fancy. I just am, like, keeping, like, notes of who I'm talking to at what, or who I'm reaching out to at what company and their email address, and just whether or not there was a reply or not, and if I need to reach back out, and, it's just a spreadsheet.
I thank you for sharing that because I feel that sometimes as entrepreneurs and we're getting started, we feel like we need the latest app to track
Yes.
something. And this is just another reminder that there are tools out there like Google Docs
Yes.
that are already accessible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't have to overcomplicate it. Yeah. It's scary enough. It's definitely a step outside of my comfort zone, for sure. But if I just commit to taking the action,
Hmm.
just like I teach the people I work with, commit to taking the action. That's all you can control with what you do.
Yeah.
And so the outcomes come.
So I want to go back to you spoke that you are starting to do a little bit more networking.
Yes.
Have you gone to
Yes.
a networking
I
event?
I haven't yet. So
Okay.
I've been looking for something to I like there was nothing immediately available. I thought about doing like the chamber. Have you done chamber?
Not yet, but it's on my radar.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So I looked into just some different local networking groups, and then like the chamber, which is local but bigger. Um, I do want to do it.
I
But again, I feel it's scary, right?
It's so scary. I think Jeffrey mentioned, when you go up to two people who are already talking and then you interrupt the conversation in real life, we don't do that.
Yes.
So there are so many levels of leaving your comfort zone
Yes.
when you go to a networking event.
Yes.
But you've already started with the cold calling and
Yes.
reaching out. So
Yes.
you are going to be just fine, I feel.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. But yes, I do. I am committed to doing more of those.
I love that.
Yeah.
So do you have any clients who, when they come to you and, okay, we've established the foundation, get everything going, how do you help them set their goals? So we talked how you set yours.
Yes. So that's an important distinction because they set their goals. I don't set their goals.
Mm.
So what I want for someone is irrelevant. Behavior change happens when people feel that they're in charge. And that's one major tenet of health coaching is that the client's in charge. It's client centered. It's not coach centered. It's not what I want. And it's not about me giving someone advice on what they should or should not do. If they want my advice, I'm more than happy to help. But it's more it's learning what they want and then what they can do, because I might be the expert on health coaching or fitness, but they're the experts on their own lives. So I can't just say, okay, starting tomorrow, I need you to do this, 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 and this. That might not make sense for their life.
Right.
So they set their goals. And then we work together to shape what that might look like in their life. And then my job is, again, to help them, like you said, make sure it's a SMART goal. Are we covering all the bases? Are we thinking about what obstacles might come up and how we might overcome them? So I just ask them questions to make sure that they're on the right track and to get them thinking. But it's really up to them to make the goal and decide what's right for them.
Seriously, I don't know how you pulled out my journal and have been reading everything that I've been writing about, because as someone who has, I manage some social media accounts.
Yeah.
And there are times when there's something that I want to do, but the client doesn't want that.
Yes.
It's, and at the end of the day, the client knows what they want. They know
Yes.
who they want to target. And so it is then my job to give my expertise, but also to meet them with
W
what they want.
Yes.
And that's a balance that I am still learning.
Yes, it's hard because it's our nature and we wanna be helpful, and so as a coach, when you wanna jump in and say, "Oh, no, what you're doing is wrong. Don't do that. Don't think that." But you
Yeah.
can even if someone's on the wrong like, if I believe they're on the wrong track,
Uh-huh.
it's not necessarily even my place to say. I might say, um, "Let's consider these possibilities," or give them that kind of feedback,
Mhm.
but to tell someone like, "Oh, what you're thinking is wrong," that doesn't build trust.
Right.
You let people make, and if they wanna make it, you'll say, "Okay, let's look at this as an experiment. You wanna try this? Maybe I can see where this might not be the best path forward, but if you really wanna try it, I'll support you with what you wanna try, but let's be intentional about paying attention to the results that we're getting."
Mhm.
And so we're not just trying things, and we're really intentional about it.
You hit on a key word that I just love, intentionality, and
Mhm.
that is one of the core components to Sweet Mornings is
Mm.
starting your day being intentional. And,
Yes.
even recently my business coach told me, and he's been on the podcast, Heath.
Mm.
He he told me, he like, Danny said, just before you go to bed, decide how you want the next day to look, and
Mhm.
then obsessively
Mhm.
go after it.
Mhm.
Be intentional about it.
Yes.
And so that's
Yes.
again another reminder of something that you set in your physical, I want to say fitness journey, but
Yeah.
just wellness journey,
Yes. Yes.
how it translates over to the professional world.
Yes.
So
Yes. It goes both ways.
how are you intentional about your day?
That's a good question. I have what I call bare minimum goals.
Okay.
And so by having a bare minimum goal, it keeps the momentum up for me where I can stay consistent no matter what. My bare minimum goals are 10,000 steps a day.
Okay.
It's to walk at least a mile. That's it. Those are my two things. So if my whole day falls apart and I don't do anything, I get my 10,000 steps and I walk my mile and I
Mhm.
feel good about that. And
Mm.
so what that requires is that I am intentional about getting steps throughout the day. If I don't think about getting steps, I will get 4,000, right? If I don't make an
Yes.
intention to do it.
Yep.
So that means I have to get up and walk around and make sure that I'm moving, even if it's not a run. And then my 1 mile, I usually get up. I have a neighbor and a friend who I walk with in the morning, right first thing in the morning. And so we get up and do our mile together every day. And so that's usually checked off the list early. And if things are, I mean, I wanna get a strength workout in, I wanna run, there's plenty of things I wanna get done throughout the day,
Yeah.
but if all that falls apart and I get my 2 bare minimum goals, I feel like I did I did good enough.
I love that.
Yeah.
You remind me of the speech. I I say I know a little about a lot,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
get more
Mhm.
intentional about remembering who said what.
Yes.
But there was a officer in the Navy who did a graduation speech and eventually became a little book, Make Your Bed.
Mm,
And he
mhm.
talks about how make your bed every day at the beginning of the day. So even if, like you mentioned, your day doesn't go as planned, you come home and you've made your bed. Like you've had that one win.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's important, celebrating those wins no matter how small they are, how insignificant they may seem. It's really celebrating that win and really meaning it. Some people say, "Well, what do you want me to do? Jump up and down and cheer because I had some protein for breakfast?" And you go, "Well, if that what makes you feel good, then yes, you should do that
Yes.
because that's how you keep moving forward." So if that bed is made at the end at the end of the day when you come home and tired, you're like, "Well, at least my bed's made and I can just crawl in my bed and it's already made. So that's my win for today."
It sure is. It's such a
Mhm.
different feeling.
Mhm. Yeah, yes.
um, if you had so and I noticed this. I went from working in a place that was very walkable.
Mhm.
I could
Mm.
go out
Mhm.
easily, get my lunch mile in
Yes.
and help me get my goal is 11,000
Okay,
steps a
good.
day. Um, I am now working in a place that is not walkable
Mhm.
and the office is tiny.
Yes.
So how can someone, if they're in that environment,
Mhm.
reach a high step goal?
Mhm.
Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, that's much harder, right?
It
Because
is.
it's like if right now, I'm at home
Mhm.
during the day, so I can just take a walk. Sometimes I'll walk to the end of my street and then come back, and that'll be it. It'll take 5 minutes, but I'll just if I do that several times a day, then that, it builds up. But that's a privilege that not everybody has. Sometimes if you're working in a small office and you don't have room to walk around, then it could be making more intentional laps around the office.
Mhm.
Maybe once an hour. It's good for you anyway to
It's true.
get standing up, to get circulation, just to even clear your mind for a minute. It doesn't mean you take even a 15-minute walk, but just a walk around the once an hour, you'll take a lap around the office just to get that movement in. And then you have to be more intentional, using that intentional word again, about can you do it while you're home in the morning, or can you do it when you get home at night? And
Mhm.
again, different seasons may have different goals. Maybe it's not possible for someone because maybe in the winter when it gets dark
Mhm.
earlier
Yes.
and it's cold and maybe it's not safe to walk outside when it's dark and cold for some people
Right.
where
Right.
they're living. And so that's not even possible. So it's okay for different seasons to have different goals based on, again, what can you do with what's available to you now. That's all that you can do. So if it's impossible to do it, then you do the best you can and that's enough. As long as you're making an intention.
That's
So
teach
the distinction is it's not saying, "Well, I can't do it, so I'm not gonna do anything."
right.
But it's saying, "Well, can you get 1,000 more steps than you would've? Okay, well, then that's it. That's your win."
Leah, thank you for that. That is I was gonna say that's t-shirt worthy. Like, do what you can in the season you're in.
Yes.
You
It might change.
it's so like
Yes.
I had foot surgery, right? And to
Yes.
go from not from working out constantly, double digit miles
Mhm.
to hitting a wall and stand still,
Yes,
right?
that's hard.
So hard. And then in my mind, I was just going to lift more and it was
Yes.
going to be great. That was the season I was going
Yeah.
into. I don't like lifting, let's be
Mhm.
honest. And we're going to get to the importance of why,
Yes.
though I
Yes.
need to.
Yes.
And other
Mhm.
women in their 40s or older
Yes.
need to as well. But it was so hard.
Yes.
And it took some sitting down and reminding myself that this is the season I'm in and
Yes.
it's okay.
Yes.
I have a great little group chat. It's the 3-person group chat with the weird name that I was kind of telling them, "Oh, I've gained weight and thinking I'm going to this birthday dinner and I don't even want to think about the cake."
Mm.
And
Mm.
he's like, "Calories don't count when athletes are in recovery." And I was like, "Thank you for that reminder." Um,
Yes.
and because it's natural, most athletes and most people will gain weight in a season of just recovery, like
Yes.
when you can't do anything.
Right.
And sometimes that can be hard to accept.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is definitely going to be a short. It's going to be a reel. You're going
Yes.
to see
Yeah.
that all over
Okay.
Instagram because that is just so important. And thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that with
Yes.
us. Um, you sprinkled throughout the conversation. I don't know if the community picked up on it, but you spoke to relationships,
Mhm.
and then you mentioned having a person in your neighborhood
Mhm.
that you
Yes.
walk in the
Yes.
morning with.
Yes.
So having a support system, how important is that?
So important.
Yeah.
It's anything that you do you try to do by yourself. Again, I think this applies to business and fitness. When you try to do it alone, it's going to be harder than if you bring a community of support around you. And support can mean a coach, of course,
Mhm.
but it can mean your friend that lives across the street, or it could mean some buddies at work that you decide that you're going to take a walk at lunch together. And it could mean just a text message, or it could be your social media friends. It can be anything. It's just surrounding yourself with people that have similar goals than you, that understand what you're going through,
Mhm.
and that will give you positive, encouraging support. So important.
Yes, you touched on the importance of goals. I feel similar. You
Yes.
know, I want to encourage people. I love running. You love
Yes.
running. When they go to a running group, sometimes it can feel intimidating
Mhm.
because you'll have people there who are at faster paces.
Sure.
And so they may not have another runner who is at the pace that you're at. Don't get discouraged. There are so many running groups out there.
Mhm.
And it's like dating.
Mhm.
You find the
Yep.
one that's right for you.
Exactly, exactly. And the great things about running groups is when you start making friends there and people notice you don't show up. And
Mm,
that's that kind of accountability that's built into that kind of group that
yes.
helps with the motivation. You know, if you have people counting on you to be there. And when they're not when you don't show up, they notice. And so you feel like if you're not doing it for you, which you are, but
Mhm.
you're showing up for your community as well.
Yes. Do you remember I'm not sure what fitness device you have.
Mm.
What do you have?
I have a Garmin and I have an Aura.
Okay. So I started out with a Fitbit.
Okay.
Did you ever
Yes,
at one point
yes,
have a
I did,
Fitbit?
yes.
Okay. And it was all I don't even remember how this began, but the step challenges.
Yes,
And so I connected with people around the world in these
yes.
step challenges. And I still have a friend from South Africa.
Wow, that's amazing.
And he during that challenging period in 21, he would just be like, "Hey, what are you okay?"
Oh,
And
because he noticed that you
he
weren't on
right.
the challenge. That's
Well, but
amazing.
at this point I moved to Garmin.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he noticed like you're not posting as much. Like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
see?
And so you don't know what friendships will start
Yes.
just by joining some random thing.
Yes, that's so funny. I love that.
Did when you go and speak to these corporate people,
Mhm,
or let me backtrack.
mhm.
Have you had a few corporate people that you've gone to go or businesses that you've gone
I'm
to
in the
speak with?
process of starting that now.
Okay,
Yes,
you are.
yes.
Have when you are going, have you created any marketing materials or
Ye
so this is
yes.
advice going to those people who are also
Yes.
launching.
Yes. Yes. So that's what I'm doing now. So
Okay.
I have a website and I've been posting on LinkedIn and
Uh-huh.
doing all of the headshots and business cards and all of the things
Yeah.
to do the promotional for that.
Did
But I think a big part of it is just that picking up the phone and sending the emails and doing the outreach.
that connection.
Yeah, the
No,
connection.
you're so right. So how do you when I do you have a script? How I'm curious because eventually I'm gonna need to go
Mhm.
into rooms, right?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
pitch.
Yes. Yes. So I do have a pitch script.
Okay.
Um that it's really funny because when I started it, I remember distinctly thinking, "This is awful. I'm never gonna be able to do this. This is terrible." And then, lo and behold, I committed to practicing it,
Uh-huh.
and then I practiced it in the beginning, I was like, "I'm doing it 3 times a day out loud."
Mhm.
So, you can practice all you want in your head, but saying it out loud is the difference. And then I did it 3 times a day, and about after a week, I could pretty much do it smooth, and now, every once in a while, I just do it not even every day, but every couple times a week,
Mhm.
just to make sure that I'm staying fresh and I'm not forgetting the
Yes.
hard work I put in. So, it started out, my thought process was like, "Oh, this I'm never gonna be able to do this." But that's that mindset. It's like you have that growth mindset of as long as I practice and I keep trying, then I'm gonna get better. And that applies to business and it applies to fitness.
That's what I was gonna say. It reminds me of, I remember telling my coworker I was starting to do 5Ks. The way I started running was I did a 12 5Ks in 12-month
Oh,
challenge.
I love that.
And he said, pretty soon you're going to be doing marathons. And I laughed and I said,
Now you're doing ultra
right.
marathons.
I'm like, I don't want to be on my feet for over 4 hours. What are you talking about? No, it's enough to just try to like get this under 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And it's the growth mindset where
Yes.
and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, once you start doing it, it creates that belief in
Yes,
yourself.
absolutely. And that's what that small wins. It circles back to that conversation. You start doing it and you realize that, hey, I can do this. And then once you can do it, then you can build on it.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's like when you look. Here's a story I always tell. And I think I probably posted the story on LinkedIn already.
Okay.
When I was a kid, my mom told me that I would, like in elementary school, that every day on my first day of school, they'd hand me my textbook, like, here's your math book. And I would immediately turn to the last page and read it and cry and say, "This is too hard. I'm never gonna be able to do this."
What?
And so my mom had to explain to me, "Look, you don't have to know the last page today. You have to know the first page today." And throughout the year, you'll build and learn, and by the time you get to the last page a year from now, it won't be hard because you'll learn it. And so I didn't remember that. My mom told me that story, but that is how I looked at things, how people often look at things. They look at ultra marathoners or they look at all these big goals that people do and they look at that last page and they go, "That's I can't do that. It's too hard." Well, yeah, it's too hard now, but you start where you start.
Mhm.
And if that's walking a mile every day, or if it's running a 5K, or if it's signing up for your first 10K, or if it's your first half marathon, whatever it is, you start where you are and then you build and you'll get where you want to go. You can't control the timeline, you can't control the results, but you can control what you do.
You are giving me all the great just shorts. I oh my gosh, this is just so good. And I don't post a lot about my weight loss journey
Mhm.
on social media. I used to,
Mhm.
but as I've gotten older and understood, there are some, and having Gen Z in the house,
Mhm.
there are some
Mhm.
things, ways to address certain things,
Yes.
right? And so approaching it now, just this is how I live my best healthy life.
Mhm.
But
Yes, that's the smart.
that exactly.
Mhm.
I I have lost though and gained and lost and gained
Mhm.
at 2 points in my life over 100 pounds.
Wow. Wow.
And when it can be daunting thinking at, being 5'4" over
Yeah.
250,
Wow.
this is, I have to lose 100 pounds, right? But taking it, and this was back in the day when they used to have groups where you would post on a board and then people would reply, kind of old
Yeah.
school
Yeah.
way of
Uh-huh.
communicating. It was in Weight Watchers, and there was this one group that they would just try to lose 10 pounds by every holiday.
Mm.
And I mean, with enough span, it wasn't like, some like Flag Day and then 4th of July, it
Yeah.
was attainable
Okay.
and time and
Yeah.
that time bound, but it created a community, but also just like these small wins throughout the way. And
Yes.
even if you didn't hit the 10 pounds, but I managed to lose like 5 pounds.
Yes.
This
Right.
goal, you had people
Celebrate.
there who were
Yes.
celebrating with you.
Yes.
So,
That's how behavior change happens. It's celebrating the small wins along the way.
and
Mhm.
oh my gosh. So
Mhm.
Leah, as you are moving forward,
Mhm.
I want to know,
Mm.
like, and I've enjoyed this conversation so much. I want to bring you back on along with Jeffrey. Maybe we
Mm.
can have both of you on,
Mm.
have a
Oh, that would be
panel
fun.
of how you've managed to grow your businesses.
Mhm.
But and it is actually August 1st today,
Yes, I
right? It is
can't
actually the
believe it.
first. So
Yes.
I just love this. I feel motivated to just, okay, July is gone
Mhm.
and it's a new start, new month, taking
Mhm.
on new things. Where do you see yourself August 1st of next year?
Mm. That's a great question. I see myself fully involved in this corporate wellness business.
Mhm.
I love my clients and I love working with people in one on one. And I don't ever see myself walking away from that. But I see myself really expanding my business into this corporate wellness realm and helping people on a bigger level. So instead of helping one person, I'm helping a company that has 150 people. So it's just expanding my message to a larger audience.
Mm. For people who are listening, and especially those women who are over 40,
Mhm. Mm.
before we
My
let you go,
favorite time.
right? Before we
Mhm.
we let you go, please tell us
Mhm.
why it's so important to lift, because you have to be intentional,
Mhm.
right? Not
Yes.
everyone has the equipment at home.
Yes.
As cardio, I feel, is
Mhm.
easier to get in.
Mhm.
So please tell us why it's so important to make
Mhm.
that intentional time for lifting.
So what happens is, I think around the age of 30, we start losing 1 to 2% of our muscle mass per decade
Mm.
at 30, so young.
Yeah.
And so by the time that unless you do something intentionally about it, so you can prevent that muscle loss, that 1 to 2% a year of decade by lifting weights. So by the time we're 30, by the time we get to 40 and 50 and 60, we're losing muscle. And so when you're 80, do you have the muscle to sit down in the toilet and stand up on your own?
Mm.
Do you have to go into care because you can't get around by yourself, and so a lot of that is because of muscle loss. It's frail. They get frail from all that muscle loss. So it's important for who you are today, but it's important for aging well in the longevity and to be able to be independent and healthy as you age through the decades because we're living longer than ever. So we need to take care of ourselves
Yeah.
as we get there. So anyone, I think everyone, I mean, it's 30 and up. I mean, I think everyone, all ages should lift weights, but it becomes more important as you get older. And it's that you're mitigating that muscle loss that
Mhm.
happens naturally with age. It doesn't take a lot. 2 times a week,
Okay.
full body. That's basically what you need to maintain your muscle mass. So, I can give some more details, and I'll give you a link. I have a free
Okay.
3-week dumbbell strength training program that I offer.
Love dumbbells.
And yeah, so it's dumbbells. So if you have some dumbbells at home, you can just do it right at home. And it takes about 30 minutes and it hits all the major movement patterns
Okay.
and it teaches you how to make sure that you're progressing properly so that once you start, then you can keep moving forward and continue to get results as time goes on.
It's a great reminder that yes, I will post your LinkedIn, your social media, and ways people can get this downloadable
Yes.
dumbbell workout in the
Yes.
show notes.
Okay,
So
great.
yeah.
Perfect.
So let's say someone's listening. They're like, "That's great, Leah. Like, thank you for all these tips. I'm in a season of life right now where I can't go to a gym,
Mhm.
right? I can't
Yes.
afford the membership. I
Sure.
don't have childcare, for example.
Perfect.
What can I do at home
Mhm.
to start putting that foundation in place?"
Mhm. So, if you don't have dumbbells, I recommend getting some dumbbells,
Okay.
at least 1 set. If you can't get dumbbells even, which is possible for some people that might not be in the budget, start with body weight exercises.
Mm,
And we say, "Okay, let's squat." "Well, I can't squat." "Well, can you sit down and stand up?" "Yes." "Okay, that's your squat." So sit down on a hard chair and stand up, and then sit down on a hard chair and stand up. That's where you start. You start where you are.
yeah,
And then when you get stronger, maybe you can add some weights or you can remove the chair, but you move forward as you can. But you definitely can start your strength journey without weights. You can use your own body weight as resistance in the beginning.
that's again, I feel the message here. There's so many messages, but one of the ones you keep coming back to is there are just tools available. There's
Yes.
accessibility if you know where to go,
Yeah.
if you know what to look for,
Yeah, and
and
people don't know, yeah, people get overwhelmed because they think, I can't go to the gym for an hour a day, 5 days a week.
right.
I can't do that. It doesn't even make sense for my life." And so they don't do anything. But if they spent 20 minutes doing a body weight exercise, a body weight workout in their living room, then that builds the foundation that they can build on later when,
Mhm.
when seasons change.
Again,
Mhm.
that's a great reminder.
Mhm.
And it, you know, so again, social media just blasts in our face these amazing people in the gym doing amazing things.
Mhm.
That's the season they're in. And
Yes.
I feel if you're not getting motivation from that, then just
Yes.
unfollow.
Yeah, absolutely. If
And
anything makes you feel bad, if it's not helping, then you don't need to have it in your orbit. It's not helping.
right.
Mhm.
Oh, Leah,
Mhm.
this has been just a great reminder of how much, so much that we're doing already in our professional lives, that
Mhm.
we've set ourselves up for success on a wellness journey.
Yes.
It's just
Yes. It's interchangeable.
yeah.
And that was one thing that if we have a few minutes, just that
Yes, please.
a lot of times I work with really professional women who are high achievers in their
Uh,
career,
uh-huh.
just like killing it in their careers and taking care of their families and have this big, full, busy life. And then they realize after some time, like, oh, I've been neglecting my health.
Mm.
And so then they want to start working, saying, okay, I need to make sure that my health is good. I want to get fitter. I want to eat better. And what I help them realize is that a lot of times the skills that they already have that they built that allowed them to be so good in their business and managing their families is also the same skills that they can apply to getting better at fitness.
Can you give us an example?
So things like if you're a mom and you are coordinating schedules for kids' camps and activities and those coordinating abilities you can apply to your fitness life. How do you do your scheduling for your kids? Can you schedule your workouts? Um, Being able to overcome obstacles is a business skill.
Mm.
In the f not stepping back in the face of when things go wrong. Those
Yes.
are all skills, and that's what some people don't understand, that health and fitness is a skill. No one is born just knowing exactly how to do all this. You learn over time, and so when you build the skills, then you get better and it becomes easier because you have the skills. But when you first start, you don't have the skills yet, so then it feels hard,
Yeah.
but you learn and you build.
Oh, you speak again, things that have just popped up over and over again as I've sat and talked with entrepreneurs and
Mhm.
executives is that skill of
Resilience.
resiliency.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And overcoming, which you just touched on.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. And when they do it in business every day, all day.
Yeah.
Things go wrong in business every day, all day, and they figure it out.
Mm.
And so can you use that same skill to figure out how to overcome the obstacles when they come up in your health journey?
Yeah. Leah,
Mhm.
thank you so much for sharing this insight. We're so excited to follow you
Thank
on your
you.
journey, which you've already set yourself up
Mhm.
as an entrepreneur. And now you're going into this next
Yes.
chapter.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, I feel you've just inspired. I think we are. I'm going to see if Jeffrey wants to sit down here in
Okay,
December as
great.
well. And we just all
Perfect.
have a panel and it's going to be amazing.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.